Hello, my name's Lee. I'm a driving instructor working in Thornaby, Stockton, Middlesbrough and surrounding areas. Today we're going to do another one of the test routes. This one, there was a comment and it asked about the spiral roundabout just outside of Grangetown and also Greystones roundabout. So that's the route that we're going to be taking a quick look at today. As usual with anything like this, examiners can change the routes depending on what's going on with traffics and situations. So, you know, this is going to give you a guide, but be prepared that it could change. So with that being said, we'll get on with it. I'll just do some commentary driving as we're going around. So we're coming out of the end of Maxwell Road and we're going to be turning right onto Sotheby Road. So I'll check my mirrors, my right mirrors. I'm going to give a signal as I pass the showroom. Start slowing down towards the junction, looking both left and right. Now there is a car coming on the left, so I'm just going to keep, I'm going to wait for that. Okay, as it passes me, I'm going to get moving out. Just, okay, what's she doing? That should do it. There we go. So there we go, we're out with the test centre area. We're starting to move along Sotheby Road. The speed limit around here is all 30 miles an hour, but obviously during test days there can be trucks and other vehicles, so take it easy, don't do anything stupid. At the junction here we're turning right, so I'll check my middle and my right mirror. I'm going to signal right, change my position just to the left of the centre line, start to slow down, getting it in second gear, looking at the junction, making sure it's safe, and at the point of turn, which is just in line with the centre, and we've got one car there, so I'm just going to check my mirrors as I'm going to start moving out and around it. I don't want to really be signalling because there are car parks and things on the right hand side, so I don't want to be giving false information. At the end of the road I will be turning right, so I'll be checking my middle and my right mirror, giving the signal, altering my position just again to the left of the centre line, slowing the car down and getting into first gear as I emerge. Now looking on my right hand side there is a mound and it is quite difficult to see traffic approaching, so I'm just going to slow the car down. Once I'm happy that it's safe I'm going to start moving out. So up ahead we're going to be taking a look. We can see there the traffic lights are currently on red and there is a queue starting to build up, and there are some junctions on the left and sort of like car parks in a road there. You can see the white car just pulling out, so there are some clear markings on the roads as well, so we want to make sure that we're not stopping and anything like that if there is a queue of traffic. So as we're approaching, checking my mirrors, okay, making sure I do not signal before that car park, and now I'm signalling into the left lane. Making sure I'm controlling my speed and my gears, keeping it nice and tight, keeping out of the cycle lane on the left hand side. Now there you can see our speed limit is still 30 miles an hour. We've just come through a 40 into a 30 as we came through the traffic lights, so it was very, very small the space of the 40 mile an hour zone, but you know, we just keep that controlled. And as we're going up the hill, we want to apply a little bit of power just to get up it, but you don't want to be going over 30 miles an hour. And again, when we're coming down the hill, ease off the gas, keep that speed control. You do not want to be creeping it up. Now up ahead we have got a queue of traffic. At these traffic lights we're following the road ahead. Now the lanes split into three, so we've got a left, a middle and a right lane. Now the right is right only, and that's going to be turning Normanby Road. And we're following the road ahead of these traffic lights, so we do recommend that we get into this middle lane, purely because if we get into the left lane that will take us into Tesco a little bit further on. So knowing that, we want to avoid any lane changes, so we keep our position. Got a little bit of I'll say the road wobbles a little bit, goes and bends around like a quick chicane type of thing. Be very, very careful of that. It's quite easy if you don't know the layout to just go straight ahead, then you're in the left-hand lane, and potentially cutting people up, so just be careful of that. So just keeping an eye on this traffic on the left-hand side. You see the Tesla pulling out, so I'm just easing off my gas a little bit, creating that gap, and then once I'm happy that it's getting going, I'm going to start speeding up. At the roundabout, we are turning left and taking the first exit. So I'll check my middle and my left mirror. I'm going to give a signal to the left. On the approach, I'm going to start slowing the car down, get it into second gear, looking over to the right, make sure there's no cars coming through from the right hand side, and there isn't, so I'm going to continue to move into the left hand side there. Now up ahead we do have a traffic light, and it's all light controlled, where the lanes have narrowed down to one, so I'm not going to bomb up to it. There's a bit of a waste of fuel, so I'm just going to roll up to it like this, and where it says on the sign wait here, I'm just going to come to a pause there. Looking on the left, it's a building site. I'm not blocking anything in by doing this. Okay, so again, as I pull out around, I want to check my right hand mirror, make sure we haven't got anybody that's decided they want to overtake us before we start moving. And then as I pass the last corner, check my mirrors, I'm going to move back over. Now at the end of this road we are turning left, so I'll check my middle and my left. I'm going to signal left. Make sure that the signal doesn't tick off as I'm approaching this junction. Looking over, we're actually fine. I'm going to keep it moving on the right hand side, so we're good. Keep it moving there. Now at the traffic lights we are turning right, and this is going to take us onto the A66, and we don't want to signal too early because we do have that junction on the right. So as I'm passing it, I'll check my mirrors, internal right, signal right now, and I'm going to move over. You've got all yellow box junctions, but there is enough space for us to get over onto the other side of that, so we're going to keep that moving there. Now at this point we'll be looking at any potential traffic following from ahead. Obviously today it's really quiet, so there's nothing there, so we're okay to keep it moving. If there was something that we had to wait for, we'd just hold position here, making sure it's safe for us to move, and then we can get round. Now I've turned into the left hand lane. It is a dual carriageway, so this left hand lane is the proper position, unless you're overtaking anything, in which case then you would use the right hand lane. So we've got a red light, I'm checking my mirrors, I'm going to start slowing the car down. Hopefully as I approach, because I'm adjusting my speed, the light I'm hoping will change, and that'll allow me to keep moving. There we go. Now up ahead there is a roundabout, and at that roundabout we are turning right. Now you can use both the left and the right to turn right, and now an examiner might tell you that they recommend using the right hand lane. Now if they do say something like that, it's a good idea to listen to them, because they're basically helping you to plan ahead. Now at this roundabout, if we were to use the left hand lane to turn right, we would be then exiting into a left only lane, which would then take us towards Grangetown, and that's not where we want to be going. So we use the right hand lane to approach, and then we exit into the right hand lane as well. Just give a quick check of mirrors over the shoulder, make sure it's all good on the left hand side before we come out. There we go, sorted. Now at this roundabout, this is what we would call a spiral roundabout. So basically if you get into the correct lane, it should take you to the exit that you want without the need to cross over any other lanes to exit. And we're turning right, we're going down Greystone, towards Greystones roundabout. So as we're approaching this, we're just going to make sure we are getting into the middle lane. Now this is important, because obviously if we do get into the right hand lane, which you can do, it will take us into the right lane on exit, and again we want to make sure that we're maintaining our left position. So we're just going to follow this lane all the way around. It will take us to where we want to go. We don't have to deviate it, we don't have to come off early, we just keep it moving and keep following the road. Now on this road it is a 70 mile an hour limit. Now you do need to build the speed up and get moving, so put your foot down. 70 mile an hour dual carriageway. as we're approaching, you can see there that there's a junction that we want to keep an eye out for anybody that might be exiting or emerging onto the roundabout. And we've got road signs that tell us that we need to be over into the right hand lane to head off towards Eston. So I'm going to check our mirrors and turn right. I'm going to give a signal to the right, double check it, make sure it's safe for me to move over, and I'm going to start sliding it over there. Now looking at the road signs, there you go. Our Eston is our third exit, which is the one that we want. And a little bit further on, you can see there the road signs that tell us that we really need to be into the right hand lane. Now when we come to Greystones roundabout, it is a busy roundabout, so my advice on this particular section of the road is not to rush. If you don't know, don't go. So if you're in any doubt about anything at all, be safe rather than sorry. So we've got a white car coming through, we've got a red car coming through, and that car was hidden. So we're just going to watch for a gap. And when we emerge onto the roundabout, we're emerging onto the inside lane, so the right hand lane. So we're just past the first, now we're passing past the second. Now at this second exit, this is where we need to be signalling to exit onto the third. So mirrors, signal, and if it's safe, slide it over. Now obviously while we're waiting here, we can take a look into the road that we're going to be turning towards Eston Ormsby, and it will be going down into a 30-mile-an-hour road. Obviously with traffic lights there, you have the red and amber, so that's when we can sort of start getting ready to go, but we don't really want to be moving off until that green light comes on. So we can get prepared, but don't move until we're ready to go and until it's safe. This little piece of road you shouldn't really find too challenging. It's fairly straightforward. Just keep an eye up on the at the top of the bank there. You can see the car that's just come across. That is allowing cars to come out of Grangetown Avenue, and then they're turning. We can turn right, coming through the central reservation, and then into outflow traffic. So just keep an eye out for anything like that that might be coming across. You can spot it fairly early. And then if you do have to adjust what you're doing, you can do that relatively safely. Okay, so now we're coming up to Eston Square. Now if you are following a sat-nav, now it normally tells you that it's a roundabout, and that's not really the case at all. So what I generally just tend to tell my learners is that it's a fork in the road, and we want to be telling people where we're going. So as we're approaching, we can't turn, we can turn right, so I'll check the mirrors, I'm going to signal, there's the fork, so I'm just going to get into the right hand side, keep it nice and tight. I'm going to keep my signal off because we are going straight ahead, so I need to kind of allow the car to kind of flow out towards the left hand side, and then we're into the correct lane to move around this bend. Usually a couple of cars parked up on the left. So take it easy. You're going to have a few meet situations and clearance issues here, so just be careful. If you see that there's a lot of obstructions and cars coming, slow the car down. You don't need to force it. Okay, now we're going to take the second road on the right. You can see there that there is a junction on the right called Greenway, and so I'm turning right here into the filter lane, and just make sure it's safe. And yeah, it's fine for me to go, so I'm going to go. And again, with this one, it does go down a gradient, so just be very mindful of your speed as you're coming down here. It's quite a wide road, so you shouldn't have any issues with cars coming towards you as you're passing cars parked up on the left. Not too bad. Check the mirrors moving out around the cars. So when we're passing parked cars, we want to try to give them around about a door width away, which is around about a metre. Purely because if anybody is in there that they're not looking in the mirrors and checking before they're opening the doors, we're not going to take it off as we're passing. Okay, so at this traffic light we are going to be turning left, so I'm going to get my mirror checks done. Mirrors, middle left, I'm going to signal to the left, start slowing the car down. Get into first gear on the approach. Try to keep it rolling if I can. There we go. Okay, so this does get quite tight there. It is a narrow road and there's always plenty of cars parked up on the left and the right. So at this point we've got to think about meet situations and clearance, as I mentioned a little bit earlier on. So we're just going to give people space. Hold back 2 car lengths or so. It's going to give you enough time to be able to get out, and it also gives you enough space to be able to see what's coming ahead. You're not right up the backside of another car, and that's going to obscure your vision. So we want to make sure we can see as far up the road as we can. And with this type of road, again, take it easy with the speed. It may be a 30-mile-an-hour road, however, that doesn't necessarily mean you've got to go that, particularly if everything's narrow and you've got cars coming towards you. So as we hit the end of this road, we are going to be turning right. Now there is a junction on the right just before it. So again, we want to make sure that we're signalling correctly and we're not giving misinformation. So I'm going to be checking my mirrors and slowing the car down, but I'm not signalling yet. I'm pulling up behind another car. I want to be able to see tyres and tarmac. Now as I pass the keep clear, again I'm going to do a quick mirror check again, middle, right. Now I'm going to signal to the right. Now there's usually lots of cars parked up here on a weekend because on the right hand side they do a football club, so there's generally a lot of traffic in relation to that. So if you do see that on this route, just be wary that the kids could come out, not necessarily using the crossings, could just run out in between the cars. So when we're approaching vehicles and they're helping with our planning, just keep an eye out on over the car, under the car, and through the car, so we look out. We want to look for any heads bobbing over the top of them, so parents, any anything under the bottom of the car, so things like bike wheels, feet, scooters, that kind of thing. And if you can see through the glass of the car as well, to help you out with observations, try to do that. So we've got a crossing, there's nobody on the crossing, I don't have to worry about that. And at the next set of lights we're turning left, and this is going to take us back on the trunk road, heading back towards Skipper's Lane Industrial Estate. Okay, so as we turn left here, there is 2 lanes, and people can use the right hand lane to overtake, and then there is a merging turn a little bit further on, just before you get to the island. And I have had instances where people have tried to overtake me and then cut right again in front of me, so keep an eye on your right hand side as you're approaching that, just so you're aware of anybody that might be trying to overtake you. And again, we're still 30 miles an hour, we're just putting a little bit more power in the car to get up the bank, but as soon as I hit the brow of the hill, I'm going to be easing off and allow gravity to do most of the work, so I'm not speeding. At the bottom of the hill, you've got the traffic lights again, we're going to be turning right there, and we're going to use the filter lane. So as we're passing the yellow box junction, I'll be checking my middle and my right mirror, give a signal to the right, and then I'm just going to slide into the filter lane. Now up ahead you can see there we've got quite a big queue of traffic, so we've got a nice safe space here to hold our position. We've just gone past the light there as it changed, so hopefully this is going to stop the cars ahead. Car in front of us had a little bit of trouble getting going there. So heading back towards the test centre, so it is quite a tight junction on this left hand side, and we need to make sure that we're slowing the car down enough to be able to get into the junction. So we're going to take next road on the right after the green fence, next road on the left after the green fence. So I'm checking my middle mirror, my left mirror, give it a signal. I'm going to start slowing the car down quite a lot, as it is very, very tight. I'm going to just ease into the junction, I'm barely using any gas. And we get a lot of turning there, so we're getting in and we're not on the incorrect side of the road. Okay. Now I do want to be reversing into the little area on the left hand side, so I'm just going to wait for this car in front of us to get it to do its thing. Okay, and that's the end of the route. If you've found this route helpful, subscribe to the channel, give a like, click the notification bell because that really helps out, and drop a comment. And if there's anything that you would like to see in future videos, I can certainly take a look at it. I read the comments. And until next time, thanks very much, and I'll see you later.